UN Special Envoy Martin Griffiths. His efforts to launch peace talks collapsed last September. Now he's back in Yemen, trying to get a firm commitment from the warring parties to a ceasefire and a new round of talks.
Is an opportunity to try and build trust ahead of the peace talks in Sweden. As we know, when you have peace talks, you need to speak to the various people, to open back channels, to have lines of communication, to build up trust ahead of the formal talks, to try and make sure that people will firstly attend, but then they'll also listen to what the other side has to say.
The ongoing fighting in the port city of Hodeidah, however, risks upsetting the special envoy's efforts to bring the warring parties to the table in early December. The Saudi Emirati coalition announced earlier this week it was halting all hostilities around Hodeidah. Days later, fighting broke out again. A patchwork of Yemeni fighters loyal to the internationally recognized government are leading the fighting on the ground. Despite loud claims of progress, Al Jazeera has established that they have not been able to enter the city. Most of the fighting so far has been confined to the eastern suburbs of the city. Houthi fighters have fortified the city's outskirts. Al Jazeera obtained satellite images captured on the 14th of November, one day before the Saudi Emirati coalition announced it had suspended its military operations in the city. The images show that the coalition forces failed to enter Hodeidah. They also show the massive fortifications and trenches created by the Houthis around the city and along the routes leading to the port. Satellite images show the Houthis have dug massive trenches along the edges of the city, as shown by these red lines. These pictures also show the before and after, when the port was full and then after shipping containers were moved to form part of the rebels' defenses. The Houthis have also booby-trapped compounds and houses in the outskirts of the city. This video shows a group of pro-government fighters entering a booby-trapped compound and then the massive explosion that decimates them all. Almost 4 years after the Saudi Emirati coalition entered the war in Yemen, there is no end in sight. It's not even certain whether it can be won, but what is sure is that civilians will continue to suffer in the wake of this destructive conflict if the peace talks fail to take off. Mohammed, Adow, Al Jazeera, Djibouti.